Do 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 do. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Holy crap! I am running myself friggin' ragged today. So it's good to see y'all. I hope you're all doing well. And we're here again at the remote b.hive production studios. And we happen to be pretty close to where I work, actually. Hey, you made it tonight, Kev. You're wide awake. Hello, Beth. It's good to see you. I imagine Bobby's probably, saving the world or something with the Lions Club. You know how he gets. So, anyhow, welcome everybody. There he is. How's it going, Bobby? You know how it goes every Wednesday night on Hump Day. We read a chapter or a short story that I have published. Currently, we are on chapter 5 of my book, Pavor Nocturnus, which is Latin for night terrors. I thought I was going to be a little clever with that, but it turns out 500,000 other authors have also named their book Pavor Nocturnus. So, well, I tried, right? So yeah, we're here at the alternate b.hive studios here, still in Winthrop, Minnesota. I'm drinking ammonia because I heard it clears you out, and it's good if you have, a lot of glucose in your system. So hopefully I get to the bottom of that before the end of tonight. Tonight's story is called "The Church of Saint Skinwalker," and it was a story that was prompted by my friend Linda, whom I went to high school with, and we'll talk about what her prompt was, and then we'll continue with the story tonight. Kills STDs, is that right? Well, maybe I should pour some of this on Mr. Sad and Lonely. See what it says, it cleans and deodorizes, so who knows? We could try it. I'm just taking little gulps from it, so we'll see what happens. Anyhow. So if you haven't guessed, if you haven't seen some of the posts I've put on about tonight's reading, it is about werewolves. And this is probably my first werewolf story that I've written. But I am working on other stories for the new horror book, and one of them will include a werewolf story. Tonight's story, though terrifying it is, I also installed a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor. These are Minnesota werewolves. So yeah, there'll be some Minnesota flavored type of things that'll be happening in tonight's story. Hey Shannon, welcome aboard, brother. Let's see, what else do I got going on? So yes, I have been working on other stories. Not a whole lot. I've just put some of it down on paper just because I don't want to forget that idea. And I also have this little notebook I carry around, and I put story ideas in it. So yeah, the dollhouse story from last Halloween will be in it. So there will be that. We also may get another visit from the Anti-Claus. You made it, Shannon. It's awesome. Um, and let's see, what else have I been working on? I've been working on my serious road piece called "The Ballad of Broken Bird," which I think is how I ended up getting my name from Bobby. But anyhow, that book is also being worked on. I'd really, really, really like to finish it this year. I say that every year. This is my year. It's really busy at home right now, and it's it's challenging to get a quiet spot. So, what do I have against Santa Claus? I have nothing against Santa Claus, Bobby, but the whole thing with Anti-Claus is in order for Santa to be pure, he had to get all of his evil extracted from his body. And and that's what happened. What was that? Was that chicken wing? That's right, chicken wing. So, um, so yeah, I'm working on those stories. Things are busy at home, so it's hard to get a quiet spot to be able to do some creative stuff. So I do it when I can. Um, but summer is already filling up. My weekends are already filling up. So yeah, I just have to. I need to. What I need to do is just disappear and get a hotel room, or maybe I could hit up Jim, use his cabin, and just do some writing up there or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Figure it out, and then we'll produce some stuff. But I really, 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 really need to pass my EMT. So that's been my main focus. Tonight I had a study group, and just before my study group, I got an emergency locate call for work. So I had to run to Arlington and back again, get into my study group, stay there as long as I possibly could, and then run over here, do this show, and then I might do some studying here while I have time. Santa Claus loves you, Bradley. Nah, I've been on his naughty list for a long time. But thanks. Thanks, Bobby. I know you love me, and that's all that matters. So, um, as far as the rest of that redeeming stuff, I don't. I think it's a little late for me. So, anyhow, looks like we got a good chunk of people here today. So I think there I go thinking again. Dwayne has just joined us. How you doing, Dwayne? Good to see you here. Haven't seen you in a while. Um, so I think what we'll do is we will get into the story. It's actually quite a short story. It's a short story. I I did it. I always test read these things, So if I hit a difficult part, um, yeah, it's because I didn't read it beforehand. So and I also want to figure out the voices of the characters in the book. Um, so I read it over today, and I got her done in about 23 minutes. So yeah, which is okay because then that just kind of gives me more time to do some studying or whatever as well. So, all right. So without further ado, let's jump into this puppy. What do you say? All right, go hit the lights. Oh, there we go. Is everybody nice and scared now? I should have did the whole Little Red Riding Hood, ow, or Werewolves of London or something like that. All right, here we go. Hey, Dwayne, really? The Church of Saint Skinwalker. In the dream, I was 8 or 9. I was at our A-frame church. This deck was an elevator that went to the roof, which was flat somehow. There were werewolves up there, and they threw me down onto this aluminum boat, and I tried to tell my parents, and they didn't believe me. And it kept happening over and over again. That was the prompt from Linda B. And here is the story I created around this prompt. Linda peered into the mirror. Her reflection repeated her moves, and she frowned at the freckles on her face. She turned 12 and was really hoping that her freckles would vanish as she got older. But they seemed like they were multiplying instead. "Linda!" her mother shouted up the stairs to her. "For the love of Pete, we're gonna be late." "Coming, Mom," she hollered from the upstairs bathroom. She gave herself another look in the mirror and stuck her tongue out. Her strawberry brown hair was in pigtails, and they flopped as she shook her head. She liked her dark brown eyes and the long lashes she had, and fluttered her eyelids at herself. But those damn freckles. "Linda!" her mom hollered again. "Coming!" she huffed. Tonight was a special evening, because it was her birthday today, and it was on a Friday for once. It was a very rare occurrence, and she relished the thought of becoming a year older on a weekend. Her parents had rented out a space in Chuck E. Cheese's pizza place for an evening and was allowed to invite anyone she wanted. She invited everyone from her class. She had a few friends, but when everyone heard it was at Chuck's house, they all wanted to come. Even the kids who used to bully her at the playground. Linda didn't want to invite those kids, but her mother insisted she include everyone. "We must always take the high ground," her mother had said. "Sometimes you can turn an enemy into a friend." She didn't want those types of kids as her friends. They were the kids from rich families that had a house on the lake, and their parents had big flashy boats. They wore real Nikes, not like the knockoffs her mom bought her for gym class. They wore Gitano jeans and the name brand shirts. Linda could care less about brand names and was happy with comfortable. But maybe her mother was right. Taking the high ground and being the bigger person seemed to get her lots of friends. Her parents always had friends. So she relented and opened the invitation to her party for everybody. When Linda got to the car, she was hit with a sharp stomach cramp. It felt as if something was trying to claw its way out of her belly. She cried out and then buckled onto the driveway. A thick wave of nausea fell over her like a wet blanket. "Mom!" she cried out. Her mother ran to her side. She looked at Linda calmly and then whispered something to her dad. "Mom!" she repeated. What's going on?" "Shh," her mother cooed to her. "It's okay. Just let it pass." "I feel like I'm gonna throw up." "Then let it out, honey." As if on cue, Linda bent forward and puked into the lawn. Her stomach convulsed as her stomach emptied out. She didn't know if it was going to stop, and she was panicking because she couldn't take a breath. "Calm down, sweetheart." Her dad was next to her now, holding her hair back. "It will pass." The she belched. "The party! I won't be able to..." She spit out the rest of what hung out in her mouth. Her dad handed her his handkerchief, and she cleaned out her nose. "Why don't you go in and rinse out your mouth and splash your face with some cold water?" her dad said calmly. But, uh, the party. Wash up and see how you feel. I'll call Chuck E. Cheese's and let 'em know we'll be a little late. Okay. She got up and slowly walked back into the house to wash up. Phew, her dad said to her mom. I was getting worried there for a moment. Me too, she said. Hopefully she can keep it contained until tonight. Well, marijuana always helped me through the nausea. You are not giving our 12-year-old daughter pot. Well, it is her birthday. No. Linda came out faster than she went in. The color had returned to her face, and even better, there was that quiet smile on her lips that brought out her dimples. Feeling better? Dad asked. Much, Linda answered. Then let's go get some pizza. Chuck E. Cheese in 1982 had oodles of video and carnival games in which you could win tickets. You could take the tickets to the gift counter and pick out a large plethora of cheap novelties. They also had animatronics of Chuck E. Cheese and his band that would periodically sing you a song. It was quite frightening when you thought about it, yet so are clowns, and we still try to entertain kids with them. Linda loved skee-ball, and she was extremely gifted in that ball toss. The machine pushed out ticket after ticket as she sank the wooden balls into the center hole. You've got like 120 tickets so far, Gary said with wide eyes beside her. Gary Winthrop was her best friend. He was a gangly boy with puffy lips that stretched over a long mouth and deep sunken blue eyes. His parents were poor, and he regularly wore the same clothes all week. He was always bullied by the rich kids of Lake Pleasant Middle School, and Linda had always defended him. The two were constantly teased about always being together, and most would sing the KISSING song just to taunt them. They never commented back to the other kids, except for maybe one hapless teaser, who got a good kick in the shins from her wooden clogs. Aren't you going to play anything? Linda asked, still concentrating on her ball toss. I already did, Gary said sadly. I only got 20 tickets. You're already out of tokens? Yeah, I'm not very good at these games. Linda paused for a moment to pat him on the shoulder. Here, he said, handing her his small, folded bundle of tickets. Take them. I couldn't get you anything for your birthday, so maybe this'll do. You keep 'em, Gary. I've got plenty, and I'm sure I'll be getting gifts anyways. But thanks. Gary gave an awkward smile and then scanned the counter with all the prizes. Aw, shouted Brent Rosemont. Ain't you too cute? Just ignore them, Gary, Linda said, going back to her game. Linda and Gary, sitting in a tree. Brent recruited the voices of a couple of his friends. KISSING. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Gary in the baby carriage. Give her a kiss, Kelly Jordan shouts to Gary. Give her a big old wet birthday kiss. Gary's face was beet red, and he ran off towards the bathroom. They laughed, and Linda screwed up her last shot. She huffed and turned to those idiots who claimed to be her friends. I hope you guys are happy, she snapped. You want to tease us in school, that's fine, but this is a party. My party, and I would appreciate it if you'd just stop. The chuckling stopped, and Linda ripped her tickets out of the machine and walked over to the prize counter, ignoring their smiles. Time to eat, kids, her dad called. The kids jumped for joy and scrambled for their table in the other room. Linda ignored her dad and kept looking at the prizes. "Aren't you hungry, kiddo?" he asked. "I'm waiting for Gary," she said, not looking at him. "Oh, okay. Well, they brought the pizza and we're going to bring out the cake after. Why do kids have to be so stupid?" Her eyes had welled up a bit, but he could tell she was fighting them off. "I wish I had an answer for you, Linda," he said, squeezing her shoulder. "The important thing is that you're not like them. People like them are balanced out by people like you. Do you understand that?" "I guess," she said. "But it seems like there's more of them than there is of me." "Oh, honey, you'll see. You'll see that I'm right soon enough." "Yeah?" "Yes. Now come on. Go grab a seat and some pizza, and I'll look for Gary." "Okay." The pizza wasn't that great. It was like cardboard, and the sauce tasted funny. It had a strange aftertaste. After a few bites of pizza, her mom showed up with the cake. It was red velvet cake with thick chocolate frosting. 12 sparklers sizzled atop it, with "Happiest Birthday, Linda" written in yellow and red piping. After the gifts, there were only ones from her parents and grandparents. A few cards from the number of kids who were there, but she didn't expect any from them. She didn't really know them well enough, and she was slowly realizing they were just here for the free game tokens, the free pizza, and prizes. Gary had picked out a plastic flower that had petals that would spin when you blow on it. He handed it over to Linda as a birthday gift. "Thanks, buddy," she said, hugging him. He blushed again, and the rest of the kids began to tease. Gary tried to pull away, but she only held him tighter. "It's okay, Gary," she whispered to him. "Our friendship is bigger than their stupid teasing." He slowly hugged her back. Grandpa began to sing happy birthday to her, and the rest of the group joined in. That's when she began to feel sick again. It crept up from deep in her gut. She half belched and half groaned. "You okay?" her mother asked. "No," she answered. I don't think so." She ran to the bathroom and released the contents of her stomach again. The pizza tasted worse in the second go-round, mixed with the taste of cake. The gut pain was excruciating, and she wanted to die. "Mom!" she yelled. "Mom! Please! Help me!" Her mother came running in. She held her hair back while she puked, rubbing her back as her body convulsed. "You'll feel better in a moment, honey," her mother comforted. "Just don't fight it." What's happening to me?" "Growing pains. We all get them." "Growing pain?" Another wave of nausea, and she puked again into the toilet. When she came up for air, her father produced a syringe, and she felt a sharp little pain at the base of her skull, and then the world began to swim away. Darkness. She slowly opened her eyes, and the room she was in was dimly lit with candles. It was now night. Her head throbbed, and her stomach ached like someone had been kicking her there with hard steel-toed boots. "Mom?" Her voice was groggy. "Mom? Dad?" "Relax, honey," her mom whispered. "Everything is going to be okay." "What's going on? I don't remember what..." Linda looked down and saw that two fur-lined cuffs were binding her to the chair she was sitting in. Mom? Why am I... You'll understand soon, Linda. Her mother patted her hand. This is all just a natural way of things. Linda's eyes began to focus, and she realized she was sitting near the altar of her church. She noticed there were others outside on the deck that surrounded the building. Mom? She asked with a bit of fear in her voice. Why are we at church? What's happening? Everything will be explained soon, her mother tried to explain. Please, just be patient. How are you feeling? I still feel like I've got to puke. And I've got a huge headache. That's totally natural, honey. Where is everyone? Why am I chained to this chair? Linda's fear was turning into anger. The confusion only fueled that fire. Just calm down, Linda. No! Linda spat. You need to tell me and explain why I'm chained up. Did Dad drug me? As the anger grew, her stomach tried to release what was left. There wasn't much, and it turned into dry heaving, making breathing nearly impossible. Hey, Chuck. She was panicking and hyperventilating. Linda, her mother said in a sharp tone. Calm yourself and breathe. You're in no danger, but you need to calm down. I got her, her dad said, coming into the room. Dad, she said. She let out a labored breath and began to calm down a little. Hey, kiddo, I'm sorry for all this. But it was necessary. Necessary? I don't get it. What's going on, Dad? Where are my friends? And why did you drug me? Why am I cuffed to this chair? Her father bent down and uncuffed her. He instead bent down and put his hands onto hers. You have to trust me, he said softly. Can you do that? Yes, she said, trying to fight the urge to dry heave again. This'll go easily if you calm down. Okay. She tried to slow her breathing. It hurts, Daddy. I know, but that'll go away soon. He stood up and offered Linda his hand. She reluctantly took it, and they walked out onto the deck. Before them, a crowd of about 18 people stood, some holding torches. In the middle of them stood Pastor Sibley. His smile made Linda a little uncomfortable. Dad? What's going? Alpha Sibley, her father announced to the crowd. I bring before you my daughter. It is the time for her change. Have the signs made themselves present? They have. Then it is upon this eve that we welcome Linda, daughter of Richard and Eva, into the kingdom of the Loup-garou. Loup-garou, the crowd, including her parents, repeated. Come forth, Linda, and receive your welcome. The pastor opens his arms. Linda shrinks back and holds tightly to her dad's arm. It's okay, honey. Go to him. But, Daddy, I don't feel good. I just want to go home. It'll pass. Trust me. Remember? She slowly let go of her father's arm and walked to Pastor Sibley. He embraces her, and the section of deck they are standing on begins to vibrate and rise towards the roof. She looks desperately down at her parents, and they smile back. The platform comes to a sudden stop, and before her are all the children that had come to her party. They had also been drugged and were unconscious in chairs that were also strapped down. What is this?" she asked. "Your birthright," the pastor said. "It has been the birthright of the Loup-Garou since the dawn of time." What is the Loup-Garou? I don't like this." "We come in many names. Lichens, Virtue, Gurchy, Gurky, Macabre, Skinwalker, or Wendigo, or even Werewolf." Linda looked up from her friends and then up at the sky. The gossamer blanket of night glowed with lunar light from the full moon. She jerked herself away from the pastor. "No!" she snapped. "I don't believe in any of this!" "There's no denying your lineage, daughter. Your true self is trying to emerge." It was true. Something inside of her had been trying to come out all day. She had the flu before, but it was nothing like that. It felt like something was trying to claw its way out of her, especially now. It seemed it was being called forth, and Linda was only fighting it back down. "Let it out," the pastor said calmly. "Let yourself go." "No!" she said. She heard what sounded like sheets being ripped apart. The pastor and the others that came up with her were convulsing and groaning. "What's happening?" she screamed. "The truth," the pastor said between grunts. She turned to the kids who were tied into their chairs, Gary being one of them. "Wake up!" she shouted, running towards him. "Wake up before it's too late!" The kids were groggily awakening, while behind Linda, the people of her church were turning, growling like hungry dogs. She heard bones snapping and canine yelping as the change began to rearrange their organs and limbs. "Get up, you guys! Gary! Come on, you must get up, please!" Howls flew up into the cool night air that sent shivers down her spine. She heard a growl, and something heavy and furry swung against her and threw her over the railing. She clung on as hard as she could. The wolves began to attack the children, just as her grip slipped and she landed onto an aluminum boat that was attached to one of the vehicles in the parking lot. "Mother!" she screamed, checking for any wounds on her body. "Father!" The aches inside of her were at full capacity. She felt as if her blood was boiling beneath her skin. Her intestines seemed to slither within her bowels. "Let go, honey," her mother said. "You can't fight what you are." "Why?" She was both crying and grunting as her skin began to literally crawl around her muscles. "Why are the kids from my class here?" "We drugged them, Linda," her father said calmly, trying to comfort her. "We drugged the cake and the sodas. They're food. They're food for you." "No, this can't be happening." "But it is," her mother confirmed. Linda buckled and found she was on all fours. Her hands bent forcefully into claws as razor-sharp talons ripped through the tips of her fingers. Hair began to grow from her knuckles to her toes. She felt her patella pop and the fibula and tibia bones stretched out and moved backwards. Her canines elongated an inch and a half as a snout protruded from her nose. Rage filled the inside of her soul, and with it came an insatiable hunger. She looked at her new form, growling and snarling. Her parents had made their own change, and they howled, inviting her to howl with them. She did until she heard something within the din of wolves growling and feasting, something within the scream and guttural moans of the children she went to school with. "Linda!" It was Gary. "Please, Linda, don't let them!" She looked up in the direction of the roof. Blood and chunks of flesh were raining from the roof of her church. She looked at her parents, who returned her glance, looking concerned. Her father growled at her. Linda jumped over her parents and then pushed off the roof of a truck and up onto the church and then clawed her way up to the chaos. Guts and meat were being fought over. Two of the wolves were playing tug-of-war with a length of intestine. She sniffed the air and then looked in the direction of Gary. He was huddled on the edge, wrapped around a railing. One of the wolves was creeping up on him. When she dove in and bit the wolf on the arm, it yelped and backed off. Linda turned her attention back to Gary. He wept, his rubbery lips drenched by the torrent of fear leaking from his bulbous eyes, his face wet and sticky with blood and fear sweat. "Please," he begged Linda, "please, please don't kill me." Two other wolves joined her and growled at their entrance. They were her parents. Linda barked for them to back off. As she got slowly closer to Gary, he let go of the railing and fell off the roof. With impossible speed, she leapt over the railing and caught his sweater in her maw and landed him safely on the ground. He only laid in the fetal position, shaking. She nudged him with her snout, and he only wound himself tighter into a ball. She snagged his collar and lifted him up, and tossed him 9 feet into the air, and he landed with a huff about 15 feet away. He slowly got up and looked at her. She growled at him and snapped her fangs at him a few times. Gary clumsily darted his way into the woods. Linda returned to the roof with her parents. The children were killed, and the aroma of fresh meat hung in the air. Eventually, she would learn to kill, but tonight she would eat the scraps that were left by her congregation. Her parents proudly looking on as she tore a grisly chunk of calf from Brent Rosemont. And that, my friends, is the Church of Saint Skinwalker. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Chuck. Hey, Santa. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's story. It was my first werewolf story. And, I don't know, it was a bit of a challenge to write about werewolves. Just explaining the whole physiological changes and what it must feel like inside and all that other stuff. So, those of you that are like, so is that it? Is that the end of the story? We're never going to hear from them again? No, that is not it. You will hear from all of these people on the last chapter. And another, oh damn, yeah, hopefully there's no werewolves or skinwalkers out there in the country by you, Kevin. You know, because there's a lot of sacred stuff out there by you, buddy. But, you know, don't be worried. You just go right to sleep. You'll be all right. So, anyhow, next week we will be reading chapter 6, which is a chapter called The New Flesh. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. Um, the New Flesh is going to be a different one. I was submitted 3 different stories from a friend of mine's son. And I had to take elements from all 3 stories and kind of merge them together into this. It's very dreamy, so she seemed like such a nice puppy. She was, and she is. She's still a nice puppy. I'm still contacting her on Facebook, so it was a very nice contribution to the book, and I very much appreciate it. Dwayne, thank you very much for coming out and joining us tonight. It's always good to see you here, man. I know you're out on the road quite a bit, or busy with kids and stuff, so it's nice. It's nice to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you all for joining me tonight. We will be. I'm gonna try to do a Tunes for Tuesday next week, a solo one. I mean, really, it all depends. I'm gonna retake my test, my final, supposedly my final chance at redemption here on Monday of next week. So, so I have to study tonight until then. Friday is my birthday, so and I really don't plan on doing anything anyway. So, thanks Shannon, thanks Chuck. Good night to you. Thanks for joining us, buddy. By the way, and bringing the bees and the badgers. Yeah. So. Hopefully I get the test out of the way, and then I can take the NREMT, which is the national final test, and then I can get my my license. So, and then I can actually do some good. Right now I'm just riding along. So, but it's all fun. It's all fun, and I feel like I'm doing something for my community, and I haven't done that in a while. Not since, not since many moons ago when I lived south of here. So, anyhow, yeah, I'm going to do that and probably relax tonight. Hopefully, I can relax. Thanks for sharing, man. Yeah, absolutely, Bobby. Anytime. So, I enjoy doing this with you guys. It's a lot of fun. It's nice to have regulars like you. It's nice to have people stop in once in a while. I do watch this on my phone. I mean, there's a bit of a delay on that, so I can kind of see exactly what you guys see. Yeah, it's kind of nice because then I get to see people that just stop in and don't say anything, but they just stop in for a listen. So that's always good. Anyhow, I do want to post on here more. Somebody that is very viral, that I've actually become online friends with, he said kind of the key is you just have to post all the time. And I don't want to just post all the time just to post all the time. I want to be able to post something that's got some kind of meat to it or something that'll make you laugh, whatever. So I got to think about that. So in the meantime, just keep looking out. Just a reminder again that these live streams, Facebook gets rid of them in about 30 days. So if you didn't get a chance to catch it here, you go to my YouTube page. The link for that is on the b.hive page, and you click on that. That'll take you to here. I got everything separated on playlists, so you can check any old episode you want. You can even go back to the old Tunes for Tuesdays and just watch the one song I would play for you guys every Tuesday night. Look what it's become now. So it's a noble thing. People need your help. It is, Kevin, and it is. It's probably one of the things that I it's one of the things that I actually feel I'm doing something. You know what I mean. So, and I like to help people. So there's that. Anyhow, thank you guys very much for coming out, and as always stopping by here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Hear me babble on and throw a bunch of stuff at you. So I'm hoping to see y'all next week. Have yourselves a great weekend. Um, and I don't think I'm going to do much on my birthday. I think I'm going to Sunday. My parents want to take me out, so Sunday night I'll probably go have a steak with them. But you did it for 24 years. Damn, Kev. There you go. You've seen some shit then. So have a good night, Beth. Thank you very much for coming. So, all right, you guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to close shop. Peace. Mwah. Love you. And a bottle of hair grease. I didn't see Jessica tonight. I've been a positive influence on your family. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Bobby. But thank you for saying so. All right, you guys. I'm out. Tired. And done. I'm spent. So, love y'all. See you next week. Peace.